For real, I ain't even on front. I'm at a point with myself. I don't know what the fuck to believe. But
just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complications.
Over there. Yo, peace and blessings. You already know what it is. Imam_OG. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this video. Go check out some other videos. Check out the playlist. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to keep it going. And let's see. We're going to keep it on artifacts today. And we're going to go and check out... We're going to check out one more video. This with Glenn Beck exposes Smithsonian Institute ancient American cover-up. You be looking in the Bible. If you want the Bible, I don't know if you believe in that. You know what I'm saying? For real, I ain't even on front. I'm at a point with myself. I don't know what the fuck to believe. But in the Bible, where it's talking about the giants, if you look objectively, Moses sending niggas over there to the village or whatever. My Hebrew brothers can tell me all the logistics of what I'm saying to show and prove that it is in the Bible. He sent them over there and they come back like, man, we ain't going over there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't fucking with them people. And then you gotta think to yourself, what did them niggas see? Cause it's, you know, Moses arrived, what did they see that they like shit?
I am the last of the giants. My people are gone from the earth.
They seen giants, my nigga. Them Nephilim babies. You know, at the end of the day, man, this is a war of darkness versus light. And they pretending they the light. Saying when I say the light, I ain't talking about none of that bullshit. Saying I'm gonna leave it at that, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't understand, man. Or we was over here chilling, cause we righteous. That's why we didn't have no kings. We didn't have no fences. You know where your block stop and start, my nigga don't need to put up no fence to tell you, hey man, that ain't your hood right there. You know that. We know that instinctively. So we gonna keep it going, man, cause we dealing with the artifacts and the cover-ups, you know what I'm saying? So they done burnt down the museum in Brazil. Let's see what Glenn Beck, he telling so many secrets, but let's see what he talking about.
Is made up of 606 feet, 606 feet, 606 feet, 606 feet. 606. It's made up of stades, exactly the same. Now, if that's not interesting enough, look at the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza. If you take the angle of the Great Pyramid...
Okay, now, I don't know what this is right here. I ain't even gonna front. I gotta watch a little more before I get talking and shit. When they trying to tap in to all this, they feel like this the secret knowledge, woo, wah, wah.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Me personally, from my research, I think this is all some whole other motherfuckers who was fucking with them giants and all, and had niggas taking them sacrifices so they could eat motherfucking babies and drink blood and shit. But I kind of went on a tangent. Let's get back into the video.
The slope is 51.8 degrees. Let's go back to the earthworks. If you measure the line that goes straight through the center of the structure, right here, and then you go true north, it's 51.8 degrees. That angle is exactly the same angle as the pyramids of Giza. It is the same math, same calculations as ancient Egyptians. Let me show you one more connection. In 1860, David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box that was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here at first they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the Ten Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew, they said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel, and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone, They thought it was Cherokee, since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize.
Pause. Where it come from? Oh, back to Africa ass niggas.
Wool up, nigga. Wool up, wool up, wool up. Just wool up.
Where did it come from? Where did this Hebrew artifact come from? Cherokee country. Bat Creek stone. Google it, nigga. Write it down.
The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee, since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew. Hebrew. They had published this originally upside down. They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down. It's Phoenician, ancient Hebrew.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
What is that about? What is that about? Where is that history? Where is that history? I'll show you in a few minutes, and we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to show you some more things that the Smithsonian, science, government, commerce colluded to erase. By the way, I want to thank the directors of the documentary Lost Civilizations of North America for bringing these stories to my attention. I was blown away. To find more, visit the website lostcivilizationdvd.com. Here's the thing we should be asking ourselves. I don't know the story of these. Do you know that? Did you know that?
Do you know that? Do you live in Ohio and you know that? Are you a Cherokee and you know that? And I ain't talking about them Cherokees that's on the reservation, on the council. I just want to say, if you watching this and you one of them like on paperwork ass Indians and you ain't fighting against the paper genocide committed against your relatives, I don't care how light-skinned mongoloid you looking, if you claiming any of this, you know what I'm saying, any of these nations, and they done tried to put niggas out of tribes, you know what I'm saying?
Our ancestors walked that trail. Our ancestors walked that trail.
Members of the Freedmen have a message for the Cherokee Nation. Treat me right.
This unjust, illegal ruling, which deprives the freedmen of their citizenship rights.
Last week's Supreme Court ruling takes about 2,800 people off the Cherokee list of citizenship. The group lived on Cherokee land in 1942 and were included in the Treaty of 1866, stating they have the same rights as Native Cherokee. In 2006, a district court ruled the freedmen are tribe members. But then in 2007, a vote of the people stated members had to be one of the 41,000 listed on the original Dawes rolls in order to obtain benefits.
There was no Dawes rolls at the time of the treaty in order to divide lands. They were never made, and whether somebody was on the freedman roll or the by blood roll was not determinative of whether or not the person had Indian ancestry, was not determinative of whether or not the person had Indian ancestry, was not determinative of whether or not the person had Indian ancestry.
Hey man, if y'all ain't about this and about helping, you know what I'm talking about? Wake up the nations, man. Wake up the nations, man. You the worst kind of Indian. You the worst kind of Indian.
Holy Spirit. It don't matter how you come with me. If you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers, and get this book open. Trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. If you down with that, you ain't down with that, shut your goddamn ass up.
Oh, and did you know that? Why not? Were the American Indians wronged? Yes. Yes. And that's what we focus on in America, is we were bad to the American. Forget about it. It's in the past. The question should be the ones that the founders asked. Who are they? What knowledge do they have? Can you imagine the difference we would have now if we would put our differences aside and put our past in the past and concentrate on today and say, let's learn from each other. What do you have? What is that? What is that? When we come back, I'm going to be joined by Peter Lilback, who is, I've told you before, is one of my favorite authors.
We're gonna fast.
He's going to talk to me a little bit about the found.
And I'm also going to show you some documents that show how that history has been erased. Next. This is the Smithsonian Annual Report, 1882-1883. This is John Wesley Howell. This is an original copy.
John Wesley Howell in 1789. Again, this is the, I'm sorry, Powell. This is the director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institute. He said this: artifacts found prior to Christopher Columbus's arrival would be considered illegitimate by the Smithsonian. Only the savage Indian culture would be observed, and this created the artificial barrier to science. Only the savage.
Only the...
Boom. Yeah, he gonna repeat it.
Savage.
Only the savage Indian. So if they come in with any artifacts and this shit look like this, not gonna tell a narrative that these niggas is savages and that we need to build a church here and set up welfare for they stupid ass. Any artifact is discovered that doesn't coincide with that narrative, get rid of it. These the first niggas they call soon. Excuse me. I'm gonna edit that out. These the first people that they call as soon as somebody discovers some archaeological find. They call the Smithsonian. You know what I'm saying? Rewind it, man. We gonna bring it back. What did he say, man? I'm gonna shut up. Debo be like, shut the fuck up. I'll be quiet.
I was tripping, man. You want me to ask for my bike back? You know I wouldn't trip. What bike?
Artificial barrier to science. Only the savage. Science was colluding with government because of commerce, and religion was involved. Now, why do I tell you all this stuff? Not because I'm an Indian expert or anything else. You got to do your own homework. I just found out about this stuff. I'm amazed by it. I don't know what the answer is on this. The reason why I bring it up is the stock is not bad. The soup went bad, but the stock is not. Peter Lilback, Dr. Peter Lilback. How are you, sir?
Good to see you.
This is a book that needs to be owned by every American. Every single American should have this book in their home. It's called Sacred Fire. These are the words of George Washington, and it takes history absolutely apart. Not on somebody's opinion, but on their own words, on his words. Peter, I want to go to you and talk to you a little bit about, again, the stock. George Washington had a good relationship. Our founders had a good relationship with the Native Americans, right?
There's no question.
Right?
There's no question about that. When they came to America, they realized they could not survive.
Pause. Now here go the hijack right here. So before y'all, I'm just watching this video with you. This Hawk School, man. You know what I'm saying? But you see, he a PhD. I admire your ethics and all that to acquire master's degrees, but I don't trust you. I don't trust the narrative you pushing, because I know that the publishers of the books that you reading and taking tests on is by motherfuckers who invaded my people's land and conquered my ancestors and taught me lies and told me I was from Africa and that I'm black. So I don't trust you. I don't trust you. But we're gonna see what he got to say.
Relationship with the Native Americans. Right?
There's no question about that. When they came to America, they realized they could not survive without a close relationship with the Indian people. They could not survive without a close relationship with the Indian people. The greatest story, for example, is the Pilgrims who were blown off course. 800 miles out of their destination in Virginia. They're in Massachusetts. They land on ground, and they're in the middle of nowhere, no government. They make the Mayflower.
A significant model for both the Federalists and Anti-Federalists were the Iroquois, who had created a highly sophisticated and democratic federation of self-governing units. In stark contrast to European forms of government, the Iroquois people had the ability to immediately remove corrupt leaders. Women played a significant role in decision-making. Everyone was permitted to participate in debate and policy formulation.
Ground, and they're in the middle of nowhere, no government. They make the Mayflower Compact.
The most important sea voyage in American history, the journey of the Mayflower.
Ah, yes. The ship that brought prostitutes to America.
Not prostitutes, Protestants.
Now who's being naive?
In the middle of nowhere, no government. They make the Mayflower Compact.
Pause. See what I'm talking about? He's a fucking liar. Excuse my language. Like I say, sometimes I'm trying to convey a certain energy across to y'all, and he's a fucking liar. There was no government. We already proved that it was government.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
They paint this picture. Oh, the Pilgrims came here, they made the Constitution. Them fucking peasants, they was some rejects, okay? All them people coming over here from Europe was rejects. They're still in our land. You know what I'm talking about? Why you think this city, this country is like it is? Corrupt. The people corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got nothing but angry-ass Indians who think they Africans and a whole bunch of reject-ass European peasants who want you to call them sir. Now, you know that means united, right? Oh, you should call me sir. It's respectful to say sir. Hold on, you ain't no fucking knight. You're a peasant. I'm not calling you sir. Fuck you talking about? Call me chief.
So they have government when they land. And there's no Native Americans there because a plague had gone through, but one person shows up. He happens to be a Native American.
Hold on, there was one Indian showed up. Taught the Pilgrims how to make dressing.
Other Indians came out the back with a long blanket that was folded in half and put in front of us. Open that shit up, and on the blanket was a long wooden pipe with feathers, and bags of weed were all over the blanket. Chief walked over. The big ones are 50. The little ones are 25. These are 10.
The fuck? He got a PhD though. And you'll be on here ghetto scholarship and all that. Hey, at least I'm not no liar. At least I'm objective. Give me the books, man. I'll run circles around them, man. With all that bullshit. They regurgitate bullshit. And they say, yeah, you passed. Right answer. Right answer. You know? Keeping the lie alive. That's what he trying to do. That's why I'm finna keep interjecting on his punk ass.
New English.
A Native American that knew English. He'd actually been taken captive to England. He'd learned English. He'd gotten his freedom. He came back, his people were gone. The white settlers are there all of a sudden, and he meets them and he says, welcome. He speaks English. They couldn't believe it.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
The providence of that moment is extraordinary. They needed help, and there was a person there to help them, and he was a Native American.
Right.
And that creates Massachusetts.
All right, do I have time for one more story real quick? No? Okay, hang on, because I want to come back and talk about, William Penn. Because William Penn said something when he was working with the Indians that is critical to understand the truth, I think, about America. And we'll do that next.
Steal your mind back. Don't die in their wilderness. Back from CMB dogs in LA, New York project hallways. Let's point our heaters the other way. Green Bay.
The history The history that has been erased in our nation, and in particular with the Native Americans, happened because it didn't fit the story they created. It did manifest destiny. It only works when Indians were savages, and they did manifest destiny. It only works when Indians were savages.
It manifest destiny. It only works when Indians were savages.
They had to have savages for commerce and government to expand. The ancient artifacts prove otherwise. Why aren't we looking into those? Peter Lilback is the president of Providence Forum and the author of George Washington's Sacred Fire. Okay, Peter, I think a great place for Americans to understand the truth about Americans and Native Americans and African Americans, all of it. It comes from William Penn. Tell the story.
Great story. Philadelphia, the great founding city of the United States, was founded by William Penn. He wanted a city without walls. And he determined that he would do it by making a constant commitment to justice and ethics with the Native Americans. There never was an Indian war with William.
He talking all this justice and ethics shit. I bet we Google William Penn, that motherfucker had about 35 slaves and shit.
One of the critical weaknesses in the Holy Experiment achievement is, of course, the presence of slavery in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was a major slave trading port, major auction center down right on the waterfront at the end of Market Street. Slavery was a critical part of the North American economy. And Penn was a participant. He was a slave owner. And Penn was a participant. He was a slave owner.
But anyway, I digress.
Penn. Or with William Penn. And there's a wonderful treaty that still exists that describes the commitment they made. And it says this: there are good people and bad people among all people. There are good and bad Indians. There are good and bad Christians. That's what he called them in Philadelphia. And he said, we must come together so that we will address these problems that will come with respect and by communication, affirming the good.
That's where we need to be. There are good among us and bad among us. There are good Americans, bad Americans. There's good parts of America. There are bad parts of America in the American story. We've got to come together as the good people, stand together and guard against the bad so we can live in a country without walls. Peter, thank you very much. Back in a minute.
All right, they ain't give us too many secrets, you know what I'm saying? But you see when he said, there's good people and bad people. There was good Europeans, good settlers, good fucking pilgrims, and good Indians. Didn't nobody say nothing about no niggas. Heroes know nothing. It wasn't necessary for them to talk about it. So they covering all this shit up. Back Creek Stone founded, you know what I'm saying, Cherokee country, say, for Judea on it. You know what I'm saying? For Judah. You know what I'm talking about? They got this shit in boxes, man. They done burnt up our 12,000-year-old ancestor. Because they just want to show you proof that you from Africa. And for real, man, we gonna make a video about Lucy. Because that's the fossil they supposed to found in Africa, right? It's like 3 pieces of motherfucking wrist bone and a pinky toe and 2 teeth and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough pieces to even be a whole person, man. In fact, by the time I edit this, I could look it up. So this is what we gonna do. We just gonna look. And then it's a monkey, my nigga. What is this, man? Let's see what the fossil remains of Lucy. Supposed to be the oldest, you know what I'm saying, fossil from Africa. Put that on the screen. Lucy fossil facts. Okay, we seen Lucia, the woman, you know what I'm saying, Negroid in Americas. Now all these Pan-African niggas, I want you to show them, this is who they want your ancestor to be, right here. You see the first thing that come up? A fucking monkey, my nigga. Australopithecus. Several hundred pieces of bone fossil representing 40% of the skeleton of a female of the hominin species. So they got 40% of a skeleton. The Lucy specimen is an early Australopithecine and is dated about 3.2 million years ago. So they got 40% of a monkey head that they say is 3 million years old and is your ancestor, nigga, from Africa. We just gonna do the quick search, you know what I'm saying, on the Wikipedia. You know, Wikipedia be full of shit, you know. You do your own research. Lucy is the common name of Al 2881. Several hundred pieces of bone fossils representing 40% of the skeleton of a female of the hominin species. Okay, in Ethiopia, the assembly is also known as Inkanish, which means you are marvelous in the Amharic language. It was discovered in 1974 in Africa. So this was a year before they discovered Lucia woman in the Americas. Now look at this, bro. You see that? Look at that right there, bro. This is what they found. That's all they got. What is that? So this is what they telling you. This is 3 million, your 3 million year old relative that they found in Ethiopia.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
A fucking monkey. She named after a Beatles song. Man, I'm not gonna continue this. Leave this on the screen right here. We're gonna leave that right there on the screen for these niggas. Since you wanna follow their narrative, the picture they paint. This is what they saying, man. This is what they saying, man. You know what I'm saying? That's your ancestor. You know what it is, man. Too high for pigeons to fly. We walk on the water and live in the sky. Hawk school, baby. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to everybody that's been commenting, all our new subscribers, man. I appreciate the love, you know what I'm talking about. Right on to the real, man. Wake up the nations. Peace and blessings.
Just move on up toward your destination. Though you